Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. This is your boy Mondo. On today's episode, we will be working on Thomas's 5.0. So he came in last week. We did a base pull, completely stock intake, stock tune. It is a 17 manual. We were very surprised with the numbers. It laid down very close to 400. It was in the high 390s, low 390s. It averaged around 395, 393. So we were extremely surprised. So this Saturday, Jacob and I, we installed some headers. I did a base tune on it. Obviously it was done in the street. So today he's coming back. We're going to throw it back on the dyno, see where we're at with the street tuning with headers. We did add a JLT to it as well. And then I'm going to install the 18 manifold and see how much more that gains us. So check it out. Alright guys, so I just got done with Thomas's first pull. The gains were astonishing. Right now it's on around E40 with just the headers and the JLT tune. Obviously it was on the street. Check out the numbers. So we didn't pick up a lot of low end. The top end was insane and we were able to keep revving it up to 7 this time instead of 65. It's just an insane amount. He picked up close to 40 horsepower. Obviously it's just a street tune. I didn't try to dial it in too much because we were going to spend a lot of time. Only have to redo it once the manifold went on. I'm letting it cool down. I'm starting to take off a couple parts. We're about to install the manifold. All right guys, well the manifold's ready to come off. In this step you want to be pretty careful because there are some plugs back here that you need to remove. Otherwise you will mess something up. So get all this out the way first. But back here you're gonna have to feel for some connectors. That's real hard to see. But you want to be very careful not to pull on it because you will break the connector. All right, I'm gonna have to let go of the camera. I'll give you guys an update right now. Well, manifold's off. These right here are the connectors I was telling you guys you have to be super careful with because they do and will pull if you don't disconnect them and you can damage them. Obviously if you're going with the lockouts it's not that big of a deal, but if you're keeping them, those are very, very important. So yep, manifold's off. Let's install a new one. I got the manifold back on. We do have the 18 now. Right now we're on the flex fuel tune, so I'm allowing it to learn the alcohol content before we start ripping it. So So far it's around 34%. It should be, before we took it apart, it was around 48%. So once we get there, we'll start slowly ripping it. I'm excited to see the new game. Ready?
Those fucking bobs, bro.
Those pops are insane.
Fuck, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, we hit like
Is everything okay on here? I think I might have pressed the enter button actually.
No, you're good. Everything recorded.
Fuck, dude. That was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
How fast did we hit?
Oh, like 100.
It was like 110. Oh, I just finished wrapping up Thomas's car. I'm about to show you the final numbers. So, as of right now, I showed you guys before. This is what we picked up, which is the JLT and the headers with my street tune. So before peak was at 389, 390, and peak now was 426. So we also picked up peak of 375 foot-pounds, and before peak was at 369. But obviously we picked up a lot more top end torque. That's just with my street tune, E40, and the JLT header and headers. So let's hide this one, and we're going to show the third one. This is with the manifold. So this is what I really wanted to test. As you guys can see, we did lose some low end torque, which was to be expected with the 18 manifold without runners. So this has the IMRCs locked out. But we also picked up mid-range horsepower and torque right at 48. And we picked up a ton of top end. So actually he can rev it up to 74, 75 without issue. So ideally, we should have picked more, but right around 5,800, we started running into some false knock. So what happens is the 2M fabrication headers that we bought were rubbing against the steering shaft. So it dropped timing all the way from 30 down to 23, 24. So we're going to put a ding in the header so we can make more clearance, and that should take care of the false knock and free up that extra horsepower. So that's also kind of what happens in this area as timing starts to drop. the cam angles and all that. I tried to clean up the curve as much as I could, but obviously it wasn't cooperating. But still, the gains were astonishing. This car came in with 393, 397 around there, and picked up almost 60 horsepower with very basic bolt-ons. So at this kind of point, the only way we're gonna get more would be by fixing the false knock and by going Cobra Jet. But for the kind of price for the Cobra Jet, the 18 manifold is a great buy. Obviously, it doesn't rev as high as a Cobra Jet. So if you are going for max effort, Cobra Jet's the way to go. So the cool thing about Thomas's car is that it allowed me to see the difference between headers and intake, and then adding the 18 manifold. As I said, I have tuned plenty of cars on the 18 manifold. The only problem is that they were already on it, so we didn't get to see the different steps and how much every mod gave us. And right now we did, which is really cool. It was a very neat experiment. Obviously you guys kind of saw where it affects us, where we gained and where we lost. So it did lose a little bit of torque. I'm gonna see how to gain some of that back. Obviously, if we had kept the runners, it would have allowed us to keep that low end torque. The only problem was that that's the manifold that came off of my car, and I had the lockouts, and I already got rid of all the runners and all their components. So yeah, that's about it, guys. So this concludes today's video. I would like to give a special thank you to Thomas for allowing me to run these experiments, show this information. I know a lot of people don't like to show numbers. He was super cool with it. And then again, I would like to thank all of you guys for the subscriptions, for the likes, for the comments. It's what keeps us going. So once again, thank you guys for all your support, and I will see you next week.